Hey, 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 do do do, do do do, do do do. Hey everybody, this is John from Desert Pottery coming to you from my home studio here in the nice, beautiful weather here in Phoenix, Arizona. So, I have been, one of the things I like, I've been watching this one ceramic artist. Let's see, turn this off. There we go. I'll probably mispronounce his name. Hu Shin Lin. Forgot. I'm not sure if that's how he pronounced his name, but he does a lot of work with chattering. And although my pieces are not quite as good, I've been trying to work with pieces very similar. Let me see if I can turn this light. Get a little light on the subject there. So that's 1, 2. This is another one. These are just little cups that I've been working with. So I figured, let's do some pieces like that today. Actually, I'm gonna put these on the side. I threw a couple pieces last night. I think, yeah, 2 pieces. So I have pieces here. I did some other pieces also, but these are the ones I will be trimming. And let's see, put this one over here too. I think in order to best see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera down here more at eye level and try to get things situated here. So first thing I am going to do is find one of my sponges here, turn on the wheel with help, and actually just recently learned this. One of the problems I've always had was trying to put wedges of clay against a piece, and then I'll end up augmenting or deforming the pieces. So now what I've learned is wet the wheel. This seems to be working good for 90% of what I'm doing, at least with these mugs. This is a leather hard. Although I was working on trimming a piece for one of my students the other day and got down to the last maybe 30 seconds of just making it look really nice. So I wet the rim here. I'm going to eyeball center this on the wheel. Now I'm not real perfect here. As you can see, it's a little wobbly, but gotta tap it down. And I have several tools at my disposal for this. And I probably should have these things cleaned off first. 1, 2, 3, 4 tools at my disposal for this. So I'm going to start. Still feels a little, do this at a slow pace. What I've learned is I have to kind of keep my hands on this for the most part. think I need to sharpen these, although it still feels sharp to me. I don't know. Like I said, this clay, I did this last night. I finished up about 11:30 for all the pieces I did. And it is now, I think, about 12 o'clock-ish. I need to get a clock in my studio here. My Fitbit here stopped working as far as the clock face a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. So this seems to be more of a soft leather hard. I've been trying and practicing throwing these cylinders, these cups. And so what I found in doing this type of chattering is, depending on how hard, how dry the clay is, will depend on the chattered pattern. Oh, okay. Go to my pear shape tool. This way. And then usually, because this is kind of a, take this down a little bit here. I'm not perfect with this yet. I'm working on it, and that's why. Oh, when I first started doing wheel work, I was only doing buy like 25 pounds of clay at a time. Now I'm more doing 100 pounds at a time. This is my little Kemper Tools, the R2. Oop. It's got the round and the more squared off. I like to use a squared off side here. Now I actually have my my phone, which I'm using for this video, plugged into my outlet here. And so I can't, what was I going to say? I forget what I was just going to say. Wow, I heard the ice cream man ice cream truck. I think it's in the mid-70s right now here in Phoenix. I like to have actually like a undercut here. I was trying to think of the term there. A little bit of an undercut. A little bit of an undercut on this foot ring for actually two reasons. When I am glazing, dipping, I have something to kind of hold on to. Use my little pin tool here, which is mucked up. By the time I got done last night, I was so tired. I didn't do any cleanup, and I didn't get up until late this morning. So I do a little bit of an undercut here, so that I have something to kind of grasp onto. But also, depending on the glaze I'm using, if it's going to run, hopefully that little undercut's going to kind of catch the keep it from running. I'm trying to be careful not to go too deep. As I've only been doing wheel work for I don't know, a year and a half or so. I'm still getting used to. Okay. You have to kind of be careful here, especially in the center of the foot ring. Just kind of using my finger to give a nice curve. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll take, I just bought these at the dollar store. It's just basically glass. And I'll take it, kind of compress. Want this to be nice and smooth. This is actually the Laguna B-Mix WC401 clay that has the grog in it. So now I'm going to go back to this tool and just kind of actually, I think I'm going to switch over to a different tool. this is one of my tools that I use for both trimming and chattering. I feel a fly or something landing on my head. Now, I will use probably this end here, which is like a, I'm not sure, it's rounded this way and rounded this way. And I'll hold it towards the end, so it's going to bump along the end. And I'll go down about 75% or so. I don't want to have the chattering. I don't want to have the chattering all the way to where the lip is going to be, where your lips are going to be. So. One thing also I'm doing is I'm kind of like going in this fashion here, kind of following the contour of the piece itself. Sometimes I will use the other, almost like a shepherd's hook, and depending on the angle, it could change. But I actually I might do it this way. Sometimes I might have like this here. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's a little wider. I might switch it up. And then maybe I do have another tool that sometimes I use for chattering, which I will, I think, demonstrate on the next. The next piece. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Again, this is still a little wet. So this is it's nice tactually speaking. The top here is being kept fairly smooth. So I'll put this one on the side. And then we'll start this one. Again, with the okay. So by doing it, tapping it, I'm creating a suction so it doesn't just fly off. Still, I had a piece here. This is a piece I was trimming for one of my students. They threw it, and this is a piece I was saying, it got down to the last little bit and it flew right off. I think it hit one of the pins or something, or the edge of something. Hit there and hit here. So I threw a new piece for them. So I'm starting to try to throw with a little thicker bottoms here, instead of throwing with only like 1/4 of an inch, maybe up to a 1/2 an inch. It's easier to take off to trim than it is to have to try to add clay, or in fact, actually, there was a piece I had done, and I'm trying to see where it's at. There's a piece I had done, and I literally went, and I knew right when I had thrown it, I had gone too far down. So I'm doing about 1/4 inch from the edge here, and I'm just basically going straight down. That's pretty good. That's probably about, I don't know, 3/8. I'll pick this up just so you can see what the top looks like. So I haven't really worked on it yet, but as I was pushing down, some of the clay was pushing up, so I have a little bit of a rim here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I will be coming back and trimming that out. Okay, and doing my undercut. Oh my goodness, these flies. I actually have a electric fly swatter. Bought 2 of them for about $5 a piece at Walmart the other day. And they only come out when I don't have it in my hand. Now when I go down, whether I'm using this tool or this tool, or if I use this tool, I use the corner to start my top here. Again, from this end, I'm going to come in about 1/4 of an inch and start there. I'll show you that. Okay, and from there, wrong side. From there, I may sometimes do a couple of them. Seems like it works better when I come out, so I'll start like this, and I'll start moving outward. And as I'm moving outward, I'll start to flatten out a little bit. Again, starting in the center, work my way out. Now, you may ask yourself, and rightfully so, if you don't know what you're doing, John, or if you're still learning yourself, how can you teach? Well, I say this, a 6th grader can teach a kindergartner. You know, I'm just sharing basically what I know and charging a little bit, not a lot, you know, because not only am I charging for the teaching itself, but I'm paying for everything, you know, for the clay, for the supplies, for the firing. You know, so sorry, I got a little stuff in here. Now when I'm tapping, I'm trying to hear the sound, what it sounds like, so I'm not going, so it's not going too, yeah. There we go. One thing I did not do on that last piece is I did not sign my name to it, so think I can go a little deeper. Now, this tool I'm going to use here is actually a trimming tool, but sometimes I will use it for chattering as well. And pretty much it's the same principle. When I'm holding it, right now I'm holding it a little more firmly. But if I was to let it, I think this is going a little too fast. It has a rounded end, or more rounded. So, actually, ooh. Now that actually did some chattering right there, but I'm going to use this one now. And I'm just going to kind of hold it so it has a pivot point like this. You can hear the vibration. Oh, and that's what I was afraid of. Woo-hoo. Let's see. Can we... So, this is what I was afraid of. I was doing a little too aggressively. But actually, in some respects, except for there's a little divot right here, for the most part it came out how I wanted. And I think it's wet enough I could probably it's a little I think I might switch back to my other tool here. if it didn't pierce through the side, you may actually be okay. I think I just had it spinning a little too fast. Now there's that divot. I've kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see it. Right here where my finger is the divot. Again, I don't want to overwork it. That's one of my challenges. So no holes that I can detect. This is again that little divot, but it just actually may be okay. So I am going to leave it. And let me put this back up here. Okay. There we go. So sometimes I think it's actually good to show these mistakes. A lot of YouTubers and all that, they actually record, maybe not live, but they record and then they edit and all that. I really just do not have the time to do a lot of editing, although I could. I just don't have the time for it. So those are the two pieces here. Kind of hard to see. It looks, in my view, it looks a little yellow. This light may be a yellow light. So not bad. It has a nice feel in my hands. So that is all we're going to do for this this little demonstration. As I always say, or as one of my instructors always says, it's only clay. I could take that, and in fact, actually, I had a piece yesterday. Flew off. I was trying to I forgot what I was doing, and then one other thing I'll say. Yesterday, something I've wanted to do. I love texture, and so I've had some sodium silicates sitting on my shelf for quite a while, and because I like texture and I like to do the raku and especially the Ovara firings, I decided to try to add sodium silicate to a piece. Well, I did, but I think it's all yellow, and so I don't know if I didn't mix it up, if I mixed this up, but it's like really yellow, yellowish brown here, and then at one point here, it actually, as I was bellying it out, it just was going through. And then also there's a big crack. I don't know if you can see that on the inside towards the bottom there, big crack. So basically I'm probably going to just leave it as it is. I could even try to trim it on the bottom, but I might just throw it as for doing a test fire or something when I do either Ovara or just raku or something. So it'll be interesting to see how it works. But anyways, hey, hopefully everybody's staying safe, staying healthy. We're doing our best here. We do have one guest that's staying with us here in our Airbnb home. We have 2 bedrooms. One is vacant right now, but we do have another person who's going to be staying for at least to the end of this month. So we're all practicing social distancing, but not spiritual distancing, but social distancing, and just take it one day at a time. And don't forget, keep on practicing. And if you would, please like and subscribe and share our videos. We are also on Facebook, so you can also find us there at facebook.com/Desert Rock Pottery. So this has been John, Desert Rock Pottery, saying have a blessed day.